Do you have any idea how many women walk through life without ever realizing just how incredibly captivating they are? And I'm not just talking about outward beauty. There's something far more powerful at play. I'm referring to that subtle essence, that unique way of moving, observing, expressing, and simply being that can completely disarm a man. You might not even notice it in yourself. But the most fascinating thing is that you often underestimate it. You assume you're not alluring because you don't match some specific beauty standard. But what truly draws us in goes way beyond a slim waist or flawless makeup. It's that quiet confidence, that authenticity you can't fake, that presence you radiate the moment you walk into a room without saying a single word. Today, I want to show you the 10 most obvious signs that you're far more attractive than you think. And trust me, even if we try to hide it, men notice it and feel it deeply. Some of these signs are so subtle that you probably haven't even realized how powerful they are. But believe me, we do. Stick with me till the end, because sign number 9 is one you tend to overlook the most. But for us, it's one of the most irresistible. I promise you that. Once you've read this, you'll start seeing yourself in a whole new light. Sign 1. Men get nervous around you. This is one of the truest and yet most underrated signs. A lot of times, when a guy acts awkward, avoids eye contact, or seems a bit fidgety, you might think he's just not interested. But in reality, it's the complete opposite. He's so drawn to you that he can barely handle it. When a man is attracted to a woman who genuinely impresses him, his body betrays him. He'll touch his neck, adjust his shirt, cross and uncross his arms for no reason. Talk faster or slower than usual, because he's scared of saying the wrong thing. Sometimes he'll even go quiet, unsure of what to say at all. It's not that he lacks personality or confidence. It's just that your presence throws him off balance. Your beauty, your energy, your demeanor can make even the most self-assured man feel out of place. So if you notice a guy who's usually relaxed becoming tense, changing his posture, or focusing more on what he's doing than what he's saying, trust me, you're having a serious impact. And here's the key. Don't dim your light just to make him more comfortable. On the contrary, own that power. If a man gets nervous around you, he sees you as someone who deserves way more than just a casual conversation. Now, sign 2. People keep looking back at you without saying a word. This might sound trivial, but it's actually one of the strongest and most overlooked signs. When a woman is truly attractive, even if she doesn't realize it herself, people around her notice. You might think you were just walking through a cafe or standing in line somewhere. But from our perspective, you draw attention. And it's not just that first glance as you pass by. It's the second glance that really says something. When someone turns their head after you've already walked past, do you know what that means? It means there's something about you that stuck with them. Something that a fleeting look couldn't capture. That second glance is the most honest way a man, or even another woman, silently acknowledges that there's something remarkable about you. It's not about flashy clothes or being perfectly styled. Sometimes it's the way you walk, your posture, that calm but magnetic energy you carry. Something that isn't forced, just naturally felt. True attraction isn't loud, it's sensed. A lot of women don't notice it because they're preoccupied, checking their phones or just focused on getting somewhere. But if you ever catch someone looking back at you for a second time, even without saying a thing, that's a clear sign you've made an impression. something intangible but impossible to miss. Sign 3. You underestimate yourself, but still get compliments all the time. This is one of the clearest, yet most paradoxical signs. Have you ever had a day where you didn't feel particularly pretty, but someone still told you that you look amazing? Or maybe you've heard things like, I don't know what it is exactly, but there's just something about you. That's no coincidence. It's a clear sign that you radiate a kind of energy that draws people in, even if you don't see it yourself. This often happens with genuine women who aren't obsessed with being perfect, but naturally spark something in others. Maybe you feel like your hair isn't great that day, or your body doesn't look its best, or your outfit is nothing special. Yet the compliments still come. Why? Because your attractiveness goes far beyond what you see in the mirror. As men, we notice this. Sometimes we can't even explain it properly. We just feel it. It's in your voice, the way you talk, your laugh, the effortless way you move. And it makes us think, this woman has no idea what kind of effect she's having. And trust me, that's one of the most magnetic things ever. The contrast between how you see yourself and how others see you only makes it more powerful. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're not forcing anything. You're just being yourself. That kind of authenticity, paired with your natural feminine energy, creates an attraction that's hard to define, but impossible to ignore. So next time someone tells you there's something special about you, don't brush it off or downplay it. Believe it, because that something is you. Sign 4. They look for reasons to talk to you, even if it's about nothing important. This is a classic one, and a lot of women miss it. When a guy is drawn to you but doesn't know how to approach you directly, he'll find any excuse to interact with you. And these excuses are often about the smallest things, asking if you're working on something, needing an explanation for something simple, wanting a recommendation, or requesting a tiny favor. At first glance, it might seem like a coincidence, but trust me, it's not. When we men are into a woman but feel a little unsure of how to make a move, we look for low-pressure ways to talk to her, to be around her, without coming across like we're obviously flirting. This happens even more when a woman really impresses us or feels a little intimidating, because we like her that much. So instead of walking up and giving you a compliment, we show up with a question or a simple request, just to be near you. If you notice this happening often, someone always finding a reason to message you, call you, or just be around you for seemingly trivial things, that's a pretty clear sign. It's not about the question itself, but what's behind it. You might not even notice it because it seems casual or even kind of sweet. But if you pay attention, you'll see those little requests are just excuses for something bigger. The desire to be close to you, to get your attention. So next time someone asks for help with something they could easily figure out on their own, notice the nervous smile, the slightly different tone, or the way they look at you. Because sometimes, hey, how do you do this, actually means, I don't know how to talk to you, but I really want to be near you. Sign 5. Women criticize you for no real reason. Yeah, I get it. This one's not fun to talk about, but we've got to be honest. When a woman is truly attractive, not just physically, but in how she carries herself, her energy, her presence, not everyone responds positively. You're not doing anything wrong. In fact, you're often not even trying to stand out. And yet, you might notice certain women giving you strange looks, making passive-aggressive comments, or criticizing you for things that don't really make sense. as if every part of you is somehow too much, too confident, too pretty, too put together, or even too kind. Here's the truth. That criticism says more about them than it does about you. Your attractiveness can trigger insecurities in others, especially in women who aren't feeling confident in themselves. And that can bring out reactions you weren't expecting. Have you ever had someone call you arrogant when you hadn't even said a word? Or act like they're competing with you when you're not even playing that game? That's exactly what this is. Of course, not all women react this way. Many will admire you, feel inspired by you, or enjoy being around you. But when you notice unprovoked criticism, uncomfortable stares, or offhand comments meant to dim your light, don't take it personally. See it for what it is, a sign that you're shining brighter than you might even realize. Your energy, your presence, and your vibe can make others, especially those struggling with self-esteem, feel uncertain. It's not fair, but it's one of the clearest signs that you really are attractive, even if you haven't fully seen it yet. Sign 6. Strangers smile at you, even when they don't know you. Has it ever happened that you're walking down the street, at the grocery store, or riding public transport, and suddenly someone, especially a man, smiles at you for no clear reason? He doesn't say anything, doesn't try to strike up a conversation. He just smiles, sometimes shyly, almost embarrassed that you caught him looking, sometimes more confidently, like he's thinking, "Wow, this woman's energy is something else." It might seem insignificant, but it's not. That smile reflects what you radiate. When a woman is truly attractive, and I don't just mean physically, people feel it. There's something in the way she walks, her gaze, the simple way she exists that naturally draws people in. That magnetism is what makes many men smile at you without saying a word. It's like a silent greeting. I like you. I just don't know how to talk to you. It's not a coincidence. It's one of the subtlest yet most genuine signs that your presence leaves a mark. So the next time someone smiles at you for no obvious reason, don't brush it off. You're probably not trying to get attention, but you attract it effortlessly anyway. Sign 7. Men in relationships look at you more than they should. I know this one's a bit tricky and maybe not something you want to hear, but it has to be said. When a woman is truly attractive, her energy doesn't go unnoticed. Even men who are in committed relationships sometimes can't help but look. I'm not saying it's right or that you're doing anything to cause it, but it happens more often than you might think. You're at an event, walking down the street, sitting at a cafe, and suddenly you feel a gaze lingering just a bit too long from someone who's clearly not available. They'll often try to hide it because they know they shouldn't be staring, but their body language gives them away. Attraction can't always be controlled, especially when it's triggered by something deeper than just looks, something they feel. What's important is this: you're not doing anything wrong to draw that attention. It's your presence, your essence, just the way you are. You shouldn't feel uncomfortable or guilty about it. On the contrary, it's clear proof that your feminine energy is powerful, magnetic, and impossible to ignore, even for those who probably wish they could. Sign 8. You get a lot of attention on social media, even when you're not trying. This is something a lot of men notice, even if you don't fully understand it yourself. You post a regular photo, nothing too posed, you're not showing off, not trying to be provocative. And still, The messages come in, the likes pile up, and the reactions don't stop. Sound familiar? You might be wondering what makes that photo so special. But the truth is, it's not about the photo. It's about you. When a woman is truly attractive, she doesn't need to flaunt it to leave an impression. What captures people's attention isn't just what's visible, it's what comes through. Your authenticity, your gaze, your natural presence. All of that creates a kind of glow that reaches beyond the screen. Trust me, men notice it. Some are even intimidated by it because they're not sure how to handle that kind of feminine energy presented so subtly. And what's interesting is that many of you don't even realize it. You think you have to do more, show more, try harder. But your real strength is in just being yourself. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a plain t-shirt, no makeup, or just sharing a slice of everyday life. The attention you get without even trying is a clear sign that you're far more attractive than you think. Sign 9. Men are confused by you. This is one of the most obvious, yet most misunderstood signs. You've probably experienced it before. A guy gives you lots of attention, seems genuinely interested, reaches out, compliments you, and then suddenly pulls away, disappears. But just a few days later, he's back, acting like nothing happened. Confusing, right? You find yourself wondering, is he playing games? What does he want? But here's the truth. Most of the time, he's not playing. He's struggling. Yes, he's wrestling with his feelings. He might be intimidated, unsure of what to say or how to act. So he retreats. Not because he's lost interest, but because he likes you more than he knows how to handle. This is where it gets tricky. You might assume he's not into you, when in reality, he's trying to figure out how to approach you without making himself too vulnerable. Some men pull away because they don't feel good enough. Others come back once they've built up the courage. But in every case, there's something about you that leaves them unsettled in the best way. So if a man suddenly backs off and later reappears like nothing happened, pay attention. It's not always emotional inconsistency. Sometimes it's pure attraction he simply doesn't know what to do with. Sign 10. You don't realize your own power. This is the strongest sign of all, and it happens more often than you might think. The most attractive women often have no idea how magnetic they are, or they simply don't believe it. They go through life doubting themselves, comparing, wondering if they're enough, when in fact, they are the ones who make the difference. From where we stand, it's obvious. It's obvious when you walk into a room not trying to get attention, and still, all eyes are on you. It's obvious when you speak without trying to impress and still leave a stronger impression than anyone else. Do you know why? Because you're not trying. You're just being. And when a woman lives from that place of authenticity, it carries extraordinary power. But here's the key. If you don't see it, that power stays partially hidden. It's like having a light on, but covered with a veil. When you begin to recognize it, not with arrogance, but with a calm confidence in your worth, everything shifts. Your body language, your energy, your entire outlook begins to align. And trust me, people notice that, even from a distance. So if part of you is still full of doubt, just remember this. Your power doesn't begin when someone else sees it. It begins the moment you accept it for yourself.